one of the listeners, we've talked about this before, but I follow Michael Campbell on Twitter.
Okay.
And he's Gordon Campbell, who was the BC premier, the leader of BC.
His son or brother?
Brother.
Okay.
He runs a podcast called Money Talks, financial podcast. Pretty interesting. I would agree with a lot of the stuff on there. Cannot stand supply management. Like daily, multiple posts talking about how it costs every family in Canada, poor family, of course, he always uses the term poor family, right? $550 a year more. And it was fascinating to me because I do a lot of business in the US, mostly importing stuff from the US, ironically, and then reselling it, hopefully for a profit. It's a challenge lately, but as a general rule, that's been my business model. And there's millions of, or tens of thousands of businesses probably that are doing it. And so today, it just irked me. I was at the border today. I was bringing some, some of those American cows in so we could drink our Canadian milk.
Yeah.
And, I see all these other trucks coming through with all this other product, people that are just basically Canadian trucks, right? Just bringing stuff in that are selling it.
Yeah.
And we have this line in the ground here where it's like, okay, everything is cheaper in the US. Like, it just drives me insane where it's like, everything is cheaper, right? It's the economy scale. They have 10 times the people. So at some point, and I think it's Mike, our buddy Mike, who talked about having a panel with the food professor.
Oh, yeah.
And we can have Michael Campbell on there, who also hates dairy quota. And we can find a long list of solid guys that can't stand supply management. And then we'll have to get a few educated people that there is negatives. I'm not saying I'm enough of a,
I like the discussion. I think that's how we move forward. You got to talk about things.
Well, and I'll probably just we'll all end up probably just losing respect for each other and being disenfranchised. Well, because it's the idea of like, how could somebody who seems relatively intelligent in most ways, this is what happened in COVID, right? You'd have somebody where it's like, man, you thought they were a great person and then they're just a fruitcake, right? It's like, how can you? But that's the beauty of it. That should challenge how we think about people.
Yeah, but I think that usually is happening when we're not having the discussion. Like we said earlier, how do you become a good listener?
Yeah, just
you got to listen first and really understand it from their point of view. Like keep learning and listening. Yeah. Like I think that's just really, really key.
Yeah, I guess I do understand that. I would be the first to admit that to some degree there is an added cost to having supply. There for sure is.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But I would struggle with the thought of, hey, all that extra money that it's costing, that's going to instantly go to the consumer. That's where I would, and it's not that much.
Exactly. Yeah.
So anyways.
Interesting. On that note, if you're like 30, 35 years old and you're pretty mechanically inclined, have done a lot of mechanical work in the last 10 years, like fixing pumps and just, you're like the handyman guy and you're really good at that kind of stuff. And you want to make about $40 an hour, a little over that.
Maybe less if you suck.
Or if you're just starting out. Yeah, but you're want to work for a small company in Chilliwack. I think it's like around 5 people. And I think
character people.
Yeah, good company. I think you would enjoy it. Reach out to me and might have a fit for you. That position is also available though for someone that's already 18 years old, 19 years old, just out of high school and wants to.
You really screwed me up. You said it was 30 to 35. Any age?
Yeah, 30. Well, someone with experience can start at like $40 an hour. If you're want to be an apprentice,
young guy that listens to this,
18, 19 years old, and you know how to work hard, you can probably 25. Maybe you work really hard, 30, but you'll learn a cool trade. Reach out and might have a fit for you. So,
okay. Busy week in real estate.
Making lots of money.
Crazy. Not enough. Can never make enough money, right? I told you that.
It's just always, I love the honesty.
What, when I talk about how greedy I am?
Yeah.
Anyways. No, it's just when you've made.
I think you're a pretty generous guy. I'm giving you
I'm for sure greedy too, but I just know because I've been on all ends of the spectrum. I've been very broke in my life and I've gotten big checks selling stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's no amount of money that can really satisfy the soul. Right. And and if you've never gotten that, then you are still chasing that. But I mean, I think it was the Jim Carrey quote said, he said that he wished everybody could be rich and famous so they could see it's not the answer, but it's fascinating.
Do you feel rich?
Do I feel rich? No.
Do you think I'm a rich man?
No.
I genuinely do. And I know you have more money than me.
Sorry. Do you feel like you're rich?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, like I genuinely do. Like if you compare how I live to most other people in the world, it's wild.
I mean, I feel like I totally have enough and I feel like I can support things, but I do not feel like I'm like exorbitantly wealthy by any means. I just
not exorbitantly wealthy, but like our standard of living is high. We are in the 1% for sure.
Yeah.
If you're making over 60 grand a year, you're in the 1%.
I always look at it like and this is there again, my perception is so skewed because I spend quite a bit of time on the streets. Like I was downtown at Ruth and Naomi's the other day throwing a football with some dude. And
applied at Salvation Army Shelter.
Okay, awesome. You'll fit right in there.
I know, I am excited. I will fit in. I'll fit right in.
It
By the
is.
way, next week, Matt Keane will be
He's
taking
filling
Gary's
in 'cause
spot.
I'm
Gary's
going
out,
on
so
a
we're going to
holiday.
fill in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Anyways, when I came home and told my
send
wife.
in questions about the Bible or anything else like that. Send them in. We'll answer them.
About the Army.
Yeah.
He's got a gun now too, so now he really is an officer.
Scary.
I like it. Yeah, I know. He comes here in his flip flops and his jammies, shooting the. I'm just like, what is going on? I'm out of here. Between you and him, nobody's safe. But I was saying, I came home from the Ruth and Naomi's, and I told my wife I had thrown a football around, and she just skewered me, man. At home with 6 screaming miserable kids, and you're downtown Chilliwack. It's 31 degrees, throwing a football with some homeless bum. What are you doing? Get home and be a dad.
That's way easier, though, isn't it?
Throwing the football was way easier. It was awesome. Yeah, it was pretty freeing actually. And I found my our daughter's parents, right? So that was kind of my point. And then I hung out with them for a bit. Just said hi to them, and I always show them pictures of the girls. And
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, tell them we're praying for them. But anyways, where was I going with that? Yeah, that's enough. I think we can end it there.
Let's see if there's anything else.
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff on there. I could give a real estate update. That's why I started talking about real estate.
Oh, last week you.
So I have lots of clients looking.
This example, ping pong ball in the wind, Gary's brain. He was going to give a real estate update. He ended up throwing a football with some homeless person, but now we're back on track again.
Yeah, well, because I've had a very busy real estate week because I have many people that want to buy places, and so it's just such a fascinating market. Because it's a very soft market. Like if you talk to any realtor, you listen to any real estate podcast across Canada, other than Winnipeg. I have one set of clients that just sold their place here in BC and they are moving to Winnipeg and they are not happy because that's the one market that's pretty hot actually, which makes sense, right? Because it's just pretty reasonable there. But in the Fraser Valley here, it is a tough market. But if you have any super desirable product and it's price sharp, it will instantly sell.
That's like anything.
It's just, there's just all these buyers that are like, do want to buy, but everybody's like, it's too much. And sellers take.
If it's sharp, if it's price sharp, it's still too much.
If it's there's just, if a product has any strike against it, like, and yesterday, I don't know, I probably looked at 8 places yesterday, right? Okay. So I had a pretty decent buying day tour and you go look at all these places and out of all of them, they all had like strikes against them. Either they have a cat and there's a whack of cat hair on the floor. Like, get rid of the cat if you want to sell your, like nobody wants cat hair. And I mean, it's fine. Like you can sell it, but it's just people that don't like cats don't want to buy a place with a whack of cat hair. Yeah. The next place, like light bulbs are burnt out and the paint's all chipped off the wall, like low hanging fruit.
Like put lipstick on the pig?
No, just like get rid of the pig, slaughter the pig and just make it look proper, man. Just put some effort in.
So what percentage of price do you think that makes? So if you have a BC box.
Oh, it's horrible. Because today I went to a place and showed clients a place today in Sardis, which is a desirable part of our town. Yeah. And it was a detached home. And it was a crappy old house, let's just say, for lack of a better word. It didn't, in a lot of ways, it was pretty crappy. But they had it showing like 10 out of 10. It was perfectly clean. There was no, like everything was clean. You could tell the bathrooms are clean. There's no dogs, pets inside the house. The cupboards were archaic, but they had them cutely painted. So like, it's fascinating how, and Marie and I have sold a lot of houses over the last 10 years, 12 years together. And we've had that many, many times where it's just like, if people can come in and they feel like, wow, it's got that feeling of like homey, not too much crap, clutter. And there again, you can just tell the people that have had good advice.
So the pool of likely you'll sell faster that way and likely you'll sell it for a little bit more that way.
You'll just sell before all the other ones. And in a declining market, which we're in right now, like we're for sure in a correcting market to some degree, right? Like people are just,
but how much money do you want to spend? Okay. So that one was just clean.
Most of that stuff is very reasonable. Like even paint.
Yeah.
Like
it's just some manual labor and
nobody likes your bright orange bedroom. Like maybe that brings the fire there for you, but like nobody else wants that, right? Weird. Yeah. Anyways. There you go.
I do know that, like, so when I sold both my houses, I sold them both privately, and like one of the reasons I did was I hate dealing with showings.
Well, you just didn't want the criticism from people like me.
No, I don't want to have to clean the whole house up
all your weird artwork
twice a day, 7 times a week, because someone wants to all of a sudden see my house. Like,
it's funny you said that because I'm listing another really nice detached in Sardis.
Okay.
Hopefully in the next week, I think. Yeah. And beautiful home, probably 3,000 square feet, 5 bedrooms in a great area. And like I was talking to my clients today about that. Like, what do you price at? And like I said, hey, yeah, you can list for $50K more and go do the science experiment and have because I have a few listings that I've had a lot of showings and no offers, and like that gets really tiring after a while, especially for people with lots of little kids.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we have sold privately too, and same thing, pretty awesome. There doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
And I would say as a general rule, you would leave money on the table. Not always, as a general rule, but
depends what market.
Paying a realtor is expensive too, and
both times I took that off the price.
Okay. You just literally agreed on a price and then said, "Hey, did you eat the whole commission?"
It was written up privately too.
Yeah, but did you take the commission right off the top? Like the whole commission? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what's funny to me when people get sticky, because you see it all the time. You'll see a place where a place was listed at 1.4, a detached home. And I've worked on deals where they're just like, oh, we're not taking less than 1.3, and you offer them 1.2. And then 2 years later or 3 years later, you look at the history, sells for 1.1. Or I saw a place in Fairfield Island the other day, it sold for about $350,000 less than where they first started having it listed at. So just chased it all the way down, right? So you just got to decide if you actually really want to sell and if you care.
Yeah, exactly. I remember actually, I was with worked at Jake's Construction. Yeah, and I would go with William Clausen. He was my boss. Learned a lot from him actually. He introduced me to Simon Setting, a lot of leadership stuff that I talked about. Okay. And went to the Richard Bush auction, and I said, and he would be bidding on the equipment that would need to get bought, I guess. Yeah. And so I'm like, how do you do this? And he's like, you have to have a number in your head of what you're willing to pay, and that's
be prepared to walk away.
That's your number. You don't have to go like
that's not me at an auction.
I know. That's why I probably wouldn't be good
at the auction that I should not have in my barn.
Yeah, so there's obviously different strategies that work. Sometimes you have to go off gut, but I think that's partly a good way to think about it, is like you protect yourself that way. Be like, hey, this is what I think the value is to me, which everyone's number is different. If it's a piece of equipment or whatever, like depending on what jobs you have going on.
I always joke with clients like, hey, money doesn't have feelings. Like, money doesn't have feelings, but the people that hold the money, they sure do, man. And they are very sensitive, and people just get offended so easily. Right? Yes. But then even with an offer, like who cares? Yeah. Like who cares what people, like, why would you call that a low ball offer? Like that's what they're prepared to pay. It's real money. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I've sold a lot of real estate in the last 4 years, but I would always consider myself a buyer's, in the sense that like I always tell people you can make your money up front, right? And you just buy right, don't overpay, don't get carried away. And we're just in this weird phase where I listened to another podcast, real estate podcast today that I listened to out of Vancouver. And like, we had a run up from 2015 to 2018. And this is,
now you've talked about this, like basically you just get rich.
Doubling, right? Doubling. And it's just, it gives people unrealistic expectations. And now
what's the purpose of buying your house? Is your purpose to buy your house?
It's to live in. It's to live in. And so theoretically, if you invested your savings properly, you should be able to theoretically rent and invest your money. And there's a lot of people that would advocate for that.
The flip side, in the 70s, you were a teacher making $35,000 a year, and house prices were 80, 90, right? And
that is normal, by the way. 3 times annual salary is normal house price, like 3 to 5 times. Yeah. And I think we're sitting at about 8 or 9 right now in BC. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. But
anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Like, share, comment, subscribe. That goes a long way. If you have any questions, send them in, and I'll see you next week.
Take care.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.